Hey guys, it's Keisha, and today I am here with Top 5 Wednesday, and I'm really excited about this because it is the top 5 books that you have read so far this year, and I was already planning on doing kind of a mid-year update, kind of give you guys the books I've really enjoyed so far this year, where I am in my reading challenges, that sort of thing. So I figured that I could just go ahead and combine all that into this video. I will give you a brief update of where I am in my reading challenges, and then I'll get into the top 5 Wednesday, the top 5 books that I've read so far this year. So yeah, let's get started. So as I'm recording this right now, I have read 44 books so far this year. That puts me 4 books ahead of schedule on Goodreads for my challenge to read 100 books this year. So I'm on schedule for that, which is awesome. I'm also doing the 50 book challenge, which is 50 different categories of books that you need to read, like read a book set in your hometown, read a book that came out the year you were born, stuff like that. As of right now, I have read 26 of those 50, so I'm about where I should be with that. I'm halfway through the year, I'm halfway through the list. So that's going really well. My also goals was to reread the Harry Potter series this year. I have read the first 2 books, and I've been thinking about picking up the 3rd book. However, I'm kind of holding off for December for Harry Christmas to You and kind of marathoning them all in December. Thought that might be a really good way to end my year. Also this year, I was doing Caddy-tastic's TBR Jar Challenge, which has pre-selected categories, and each month you're supposed to pull one out of your TBR jar and read a category for that month. So far, I have completed every month except for May. May's challenge was to read a book that was not a novel, and I did not complete that, so I'm going to roll that over with June as well as June's challenge. My final goal was to read a graphic novel every month. So far I have exceeded that, and I have been reading several graphic novels a month, but at least one, so I am on track for that. And I believe that was all my goals that I set for myself in the beginning of the year. So yeah, now I'm going to get into the top 5 books that I have read this year. Coming in at number 5 is The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutowski. This book follows our main protagonist, Kestrel, and Kestrel's world is very militant. And basically, by the certain age, you have to decide whether you're going to join the military or if you are going to get married. And Kestrel, being the general's daughter, is expected to join the military. However, she doesn't want to do that, and she's not really too keen on getting married as well. Until one day, she goes to a slaver's auction and buys a slave. And from there, things explode. I loved this book. It is so political. There's so much strategy going into it. It makes sense, and I really enjoyed reading this. I have not picked up The Winner's Crime yet. I'm waiting for it to come out in paperback since I have The Winner's Curse in paperback, but I absolutely adored it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Number 4 is a book that I actually just finished yesterday, and that is Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini. This follows our main character, Lily, and Lily has severe allergies. She can't go anywhere, eat anything without having an EpiPen on her at all times, and she gets these really mysterious high fevers that should have killed her. Her blood usually runs about a 102 temp at all times, and because of this, she kind of feels like an outcast until one day she's having a seizure after having an allergic reaction, and she hears her own voice asking her if she wants to leave it all, and she tells it yes, only to be awoken in a parallel Salem, Massachusetts with the Salem witches. And Lily kind of finds that the version of her in this parallel universe is the villain, and she has to decide whether she wants to be a villain and a hero in the story as well. I love this book. Oh my gosh. I wish I could rate it higher than 4, but I've read some really good books this year, and I just, this has everything. It has Salem witches, it has parallel universes, and the magic system is so amazing. Basically, they're crucibles, and they have to harness like heat and energy and convert it to force, and there's just so interesting. And the cool thing about this magic system is she relates it all back to science and how this works in biology, but how, because their bodies can do it, they don't have to have, you know, microscopes or you know, things to split atoms, that they can do it themselves, which is kind of cool because it's all natural things that occur, but they're able to speed up the process themselves, which is really, really cool. I know that's kind of hard to explain, but I just love this book. The main character, Lily, is amazing. The relationships in this book are incredible. You kind of think in the beginning there's going to be a love triangle, but there isn't, which makes me very happy. And the main relationship in this book is so slow burning that even by the end of the book, they're not even really a relationship yet. So kudos to that, because I love a slow burning relationship where it just builds up and there's not a lot of insta love. So 5 out of 5 stars. I highly suggest you pick this up like yesterday. Number 3 was actually a book that I was not expecting to like at all. I was actually just reading it to fulfill one of my challenges and was very, very, very surprised. And that book is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. This is so amazing. I don't really think that I need to go into the plot with you because I'm sure the majority of you know the plot of Jurassic Park. But if you have not read the book, even if you've seen the movie, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you read this book. It is so incredible. It's so suspenseful and it's so creepy, and the action is just nonstop, and even when you think it's done, there's something around the corner. And I highly, highly, highly loved it. I loved the science in this book, how they describe everything. And I kind of chuckled a few times because it's set in the 90s. So like in 1991, they were all technologically advanced and they were cloning things successfully, and it just kind of made me giggle a little bit. But yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this book, which I was not expecting. So kudos to that. Number 2 on my list was one that I knew that I was going to love because it is a very, very highly acclaimed fantasy series, and hello, I love fantasy, and that is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I adored this book. This is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy, and it follows dual perspectives, one being Ven, second is Kelsier, who just escaped from a prison camp. Together, Kelsier and Ven plot to overthrow the Dark Lord, who has been ruling the kingdoms for 1,000 years. This book was a trip. It's a chunky book. It took me a while to read. I actually read it when I went to Vegas, and I adored it so, so, so much. The magic system in this book is so original and creative. Basically, it's allomancy, and they have to ingest certain metals, and certain metals give them certain abilities, and which was really, 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 really cool. What I really enjoyed most about this book is first book in fantasy series especially are usually the weakest because there's so much world building. There's not a whole lot of time for a plot. However, I felt with The Final Empire, there was a very definitive beginning, middle, and then end. I didn't even feel like I need to read The Well of Ascension. I haven't, I will, but because I just feel like it concludes so nicely that I really appreciated that about this book, where it could almost have been a standalone. So, my number 1 book that I read so far this year, and I will be surprised if any books in the next 6 months top it. I anticipate it being my favorite book of 2015. Da-da-da! Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Holy moly! This book, guys! Just this book. So basically, Ready Player One follows our main character, Wade. And Wade lives in a world where everything has gone to complete crap. Basically, everyone lives in this virtual reality simulation called the Oasis. And in the Oasis, people go to work, they go to school, they get married, they do everything without leaving their living room. Until one day, the creator of the Oasis dies, and he leaves a will, and in his will, he says that he has hidden an Easter egg in the Oasis, and whoever can find it wins the game and wins his billions of dollars. Wade, being a kind of poor boy, he's a foster kid, he lives with his aunt, he decides that he wants to win this prize money and goes on an epic journey through the Oasis to find it. Oh my gosh, this book, I don't even have words for it. It's so fun, it's so fast paced. The Oasis is such a cool concept, and I don't even know. There is a lot of 80s pop culture in it, which I don't know much about the 80s pop culture. However, it did not deter from this book at all. However, if you are into 80s pop culture, that might be a bonus for you. This just makes my little nerd heart so happy, and I have nothing but good things to say about this. Everyone needs to read this book because it's amazing. Alright guys, so that is it for today's Top 5 Wednesday video, and I will see you guys next Wednesday with another video. Bye!